Welcome to Turn Illness into Brilliance, where we turn problem into solution and illness into the brilliance that is unique to you. Quantum Therapeutics offers solution for C-PTSD, PTSD, and dissociation. In this journey with us, we hope to reignite your curiosity around what is possible. So welcome, welcome, welcome to Turn Illness into Brilliance. Welcome back to Turn Illness into Brilliance, and I'm back here with Vanessa LaRochelle, and I'm Cherie, Doyen, your host, and we're going to start really focusing in on breaking down some of the terms that are used often in our bubble, right? And as we spoke before, on both sides of the fence, a lot of these terms mean nothing tangible.
No, really empty meaning, definitions, who knows? Just words that are thrown out there.
Nothing tangible. And, I think there ends up being a lot of blame and shame because we're given these airy words and we're supposed to do something about it, but there's nothing but air that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's right. For years, I found almost just making light of dissociation. Like, oh, here we go again. Don't want to deal. But
yeah,
it's
like it were a
term.
choice rather than like an idea rather than an action.
Yeah.
And dissociation is the backbone of quantum therapeutics, right? It is the backbone thought, and it was the catapult for everything, for that psychiatrist to look at me and say, "You're not in there,
right?
And I don't know how to help you." And and it was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I don't even know." Right? And, from there, everywhere I went, it was like dissociation. Like they would say a whole bunch of words and I would walk away and say, "What are you saying to me right now?" Like,
Right.
you're not saying anything tangible for me to do to fix it. Right. And, also on the spiritual side, people would be like, "I'm putting you back in your body." And it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, where was I?
Yeah. And what is it that you're putting back in? What is the I? Like, and why are you putting me back in? Why can't I put me back in? Like, why do I not know where I am? Like, it was like on both sides.
And maybe I don't want to come back because I haven't resolved what I'm running from or why I'm dissociating in the first place.
Well, and a lot of people that started as when we were babies. So like I was literally like, "What are you saying to me?" Like, I don't know what you're saying to me. Right? Like I had no idea. Like, except that people kept saying. Right. And then I started
trauma. Sorry, yeah, so much trauma is like actually from the womb. Quite a few of my clients, that's where we had to go back to. So much trauma right from there.
Yeah. Well, and you think if they're having that much trauma in the womb, just think what it's like when they're out and crying.
It's just gone on for so long.
Yeah, right. And what if that child starts dissociating at 6 weeks, 6 months, a year? They don't know, right? And an adult can tell a before and after. Like a young child, there's no before, right? So there's not a knowingness. I mean, literally, when people were saying this stuff to me, I'm like, I need for you to talk to me in a tangible way and tell me what you're saying, because like you're not saying anything that I can walk away and fix, right?
Right.
And what's real and true is dissociation is the separation of one thing from another. Literally, look it up on Google. So if that's true, then what is separated? That's tangible. If these people are telling me that they're putting me back in my body, which I don't think anyone can do for you, yeah, I don't believe that. But
No, we have to do it ourselves. It's another
we have to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Like that's just another idea. You can't
Or
put me
it's a
back in my body.
visualization exercise. It's not tangible. I
But
don't
like,
think
oh, I'm going to jump up and grab you as a psychic and put you back in your body. That did not work for me. Like, but I had people do it over and over, you know?
yeah.
And I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what is happening. People think they're doing things to me. And I'm just like, I walk away. Then I'd feel shame and guilt because I didn't feel anything different, you know? So if we take that from a very tangible way, right? The separation of one thing from another, your astral body is the energetic version of your physical body. So if you are having an out of body experience, right, over here in the spiritual world, you are having an astral body experience, and your astral body is leaving your physical body. They are exactly the same thing, right?
Important to note, though, that we are tethered.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes people forget because they feel so dissociated, but we're attached and we have that ability to come back.
Well, we always have an ability to come back. Yeah. And we just have to be shown. Now, what we have to understand is in the astral travel world and the world of quantum jumping, you should not do that alone.
That's a big one.
They always suggest that you have a partner to make sure you get back. Well, if you're doing that on your own, you have honed that skill already, lifetime after lifetime. And you probably got to where you didn't need someone to take you back then, but you started doing it this lifetime when you were 6 months old and you forgot to come back, right? And yes, there's a part of you always tethered. I mean, we're always tethered. Even the fragments are tethered. Otherwise, we wouldn't be haunted by them, right? Because they're all part of you. Now, I don't see the tether as like a cord or anything. I always see it as more like a magnet, right? To where the molecules are wanting to come together like a magnet, right? And, versus an actual cord.
Right.
In my mind, those molecules are unique unto that being and they want to be together, right? Now, what we notice a lot, especially in the early intake portion of the program, is, a lot of people are having blackout moments. They're having drop attacks. They're having seizures. Now what's interesting is most often they can't find seizure activity on a brain scan with these people, right? It's become such a degree of separation and fragmentation that there's not enough left. Again, with that magnet, right? The tether, you would still have enough left, right? But with the magnet, right, as you're leaving and fragmenting continually through a lifetime, there's not enough left to run your car, right? And the brain shorts out. People pass out, right? And it's always in those moments. And in front of me, I have had clients do that when I was working in person. And it was cool to be able to walk them back in and watch them come back. right? Now, what's interesting, right, in the spiritual world is that what does Edgar Casey do? Are those big channelers, right? They're dropping into trance. It's no different. It's just that this is happening to us, or seemingly so, right? Versus him choosing to go into trance. Yeah, there's no difference. We also have to understand that anything that you can see is going to have some sort of tangibility, right? Some sort of molecular structure, atomic structure, right? And, we do know that astral bodies are visible to some people. Yeah.
Yes,
And
definitely.
yeah, right. So we have to recognize that anything that has a molecular structure that we start dividing, right? The beginning, like say I take a vase of water, right? And I start dividing it out. Pretty soon, what was in the original vase of water is not going to support the flowers I have in the vase. That's us in a very literal way, right? Our astral body is our life force. And when it fragments, that's real. Again, another airy fairy word that drove me crazy.
Fragmentation?
Yes, because over here they say, oh, dissociation, you fragmented. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you saying?
They'll use it at work, fragmented orders or this or that. And it's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? And then when you go over here into the spiritual world and they talk about soul fragments.
That sounds exhausting.
Yeah. And it's like, well, it's not actually your soul that's fragmented.
That's right.
Right? Your soul does not fragment. Right? Your astral body houses your soul. Right? So it becomes more and more vulnerable the less astral body we have around it. That's true. Yeah.
That's when we'll find auras either collapsing or going so far out that we have no check and balance and we really don't feel great. We feel
Well, we have to also realize that every energetic system has
intertwined.
a physical component. So our soul is like our heart, right? Our astral body is like our physical body, right? And within all that, there are a ton of systems.
Mhm.
There are a ton of systems across the board. So yeah, your soul is not what is fragmenting. What is fragmenting is that astral body. And if I love the McDougall.
Yeah, the 21
experiment,
yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
in the McDougall experiment, this guy was like in the 1900s or something. And, he was a doctor and he was recognizing that his patients lost, an amount of weight at death that was unexplainable by the amount of physical fluid, right?
What could it be?
Yes, so there was weight that was lost. Now, he got kicked to the curb because that weight was different per person, which makes perfect sense if we're fragmented. Not everybody is going to have the same molecular weight to their astral body at that point. Now, we also have to understand that, for goodness sake, like there's not people, people are different sizes as well. My stepdad, who is, this giant man, is going to need more astral body than my little tiny person, right? Just like, if you've got a tank, it's going to need more gas than if you've got a little VW bug. Like those kind of things are tangible and real, right? So a little tiny person that's fragmenting out like that, that becomes a bigger thing too. I do believe that.
And actions too, we were talking about a little bit, we touched on empaths, right? And so if you're out there and you die, you're going to weigh a little bit less than had you been completely home, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those fragments need to be home, right? Another thing I notice in the spiritual world is they're always bringing their fragments back, and they go and play with them, and they, go roll around in the grass, and I'm like, why are you doing
that? Yeah.
Like that is not okay.
Home.
Yeah.
Right.
Home is you, not around you. So I'll have like healers come in to work with us, and they'll be like, I've done all this work. And I'm like, they are you. They are molecules of you. You should not be sitting in a room with 27 fragments of you.
Right.
They need to be in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to be in you and with you. And I was working with a woman the other day that was like, well, if I bring her back, then I can't go play with her. And I'm like, take her out for an ice cream today. Here.
Yeah. If she's home,
go play.
Molecularly invested. And that's what I love about this program too. It's the bringing things in line, like acting through integrity. Because you're not acting in integrity when you're fragmented.
You cannot.
Associated. It's impossible.
It is impossible.
So
and I know so many of us like think we are, and we cannot be. Right? Yeah. We cannot be. You're not trustworthy if you're fragmented.
That's right. To yourself.
To yourself or anyone.
Yeah.
Right? Because you may say yes to something today, and tomorrow forgot you even said yes, and
exactly,
and make a completely different choice. We do that.
We do.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Vanessa, for being here. Like, I love having these conversations with you.
It's super fun.
Yeah. And, grab up your copies of, the Chronicles of Tigwa.
I have Chronicles. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's in screenplay form right now, so we're looking at a movie, yeah. And I've held true to the complexity of that journey. We don't live as Cinderella, right? We don't have one thing and then the knight in shining armor comes by and no, that is not what our kids are living.
Right. And such an expired tale and fantasy that we have to stop pitching to children.
We have to stop pitching it, right? And the grown-ups need to remember.
Yeah.
The grown-ups need to remember that we remember, right? And that complexity changes lives sometimes forever if they can't find their way out. Until Turn Illness into Brilliance, where we take all those amazing experiences, those out-of-body experiences, those visions, everything that has worked to keep this child alive and is wrecking adulthood, right? We learn to take that and put it into action for creating a new and different life today. PTSD, C-PTSD, it is not a life sentence, right? It is not. You can be completely free of it, right? So come join us, right? Thanks for tuning in for Turn Illness into Brilliance. Now we go live every Sunday at 10 a.m. Now let's take a big deep breath as we shift gears and move into the Today I Choose segment of our show. We'd like to invite you to carve out a spot in your home where you're going to feel completely free to allow your body to speak and move and be present in this very moment. Thought, word, and action come together with the frequency of sound. So get comfy, Close your eyes and allow the words to turn into action and action turn into reality. With Today I Choose. Oh my gosh, guys, welcome back to Today I Choose. Right now, we've been working on these exercises. Right now, we have to remember these are exercises. If you broke your arm, you would go to physical therapy and you would do the exercises it takes to have the movement in your fingers. Right? This is the same. Right? So we're going to reclaim our body. We're going to connect our wisdom circuit. Yeah? And then we're going to set up our force field. Right? You have that. Right? You came to this planet energetically having everything you need. You just forgot. Right? Now this is the foundation, right, for everything that you can do from here. But you have to know what you're doing and how you're doing it. Right? So as we look at this, quote, force field, we're looking at our auric field. Your auric field is your buffer between this and the chaos of the world. Right? It's always filtering to see what's useful. Right? Turning your awareness towards what needs your attention. That's emotion, energy in motion. Where there's motion, that needs your attention. Right? But that's not where you live. You don't live with your smoke alarm going off every second. 6 feet deep, you can feel it. Right? So we're going to walk through this. We're going to locate the crown of your head. Right? We're going to drop down into your corpus callosum. Right? By now you know what that feels like. That gap between thoughts. 6 feet deep. Right? We're going to draw that energy behind your eyes back. And we're going to connect that upper portion of the wisdom circuit. Yeah? Let's drop down. We're going to fill up that chest cavity. 6 feet big. Right? You can feel the weight of you coming in, taking back, reclaiming.
I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me.
Right? Now we're going to feel that circuit activating all those brain cells in your heart muscle. Right? The second portion of our wisdom circuit. You can feel that expansion as all those brain cells begin to light up. Right? Yeah? Now we're going to fill up those arms all the way down to the tips of your fingers.
You can feel me.
And today I want us to focus on the palms of those hands. Right? And I want you to feel the swirl of those chakras. So you pull them together and you feel the energy that is you. Yeah. Energy of those hands.
I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me.
Now we're going to drop down. We're going to fill up that torso all the way down to your sits bones. Feel those hips starting to move. They want to move. Right?
I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me.
Now you can feel that circuit activating all those brain cells in your gut. That's your wisdom. All those pearls of knowledge that you have held on as truth. Right?
I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me.
Now we're going to fill up those thighs, those calves, all the way to the bottoms of those feet. Now let's find the pulse in the big toe of your right foot. That's you.
I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me.
Now let's find the pulse in the big toe of your left foot. Now let's turn our awareness to the edges of this field.
6 feet.
Right? You want to be one of those people that everybody turns their head to say who's coming. Right? Because they can feel you. You are here. You are present. You are aware. Right?
You can feel me.
Now when we've been through goo, our tendency is to pull in really tight and become invisible.
I am here.
You know you feel that. You feel invisible. Right? But today, we're going to expand out to 6 feet.
I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me.
6 feet from the top of your head, the bottoms of your feet, your shoulders, the tip of your nose. When everybody talks about put up your bubble, you are the bubble. This is you, right? This is your buffer between this and the chaos.
6 feet big. You can feel me.
Right? That feeling of being pulled in tight, that's when we get sideswiped because we can't distinguish where people are in relation to our physical being. You don't need protection. Right? You need to be 6 feet big.
6 feet big. You can feel me.
Right? There you go. No more fear. This is awareness. This is discernment. Only now do you have the opportunity. Right? So play, have fun, and let those feet do what they need to do right now.
I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me. I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me. I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me coming. I am here. 6 feet big. You can feel me.
Now this is a practice, guys. Right? So every day before your feet touch the ground, make sure you're here. Make sure you're
6
big.
feet big.
Yeah?
You can feel me.
And you start the day in clarity, integrity. Welcome home. And on behalf of myself and the Quantum Therapeutics team, we want to thank you for tuning into Turn Illness into Brilliance, where we turn problem into solution and illness into the unique brilliance that is you. Quantum Therapeutics for rapid results for resolution to C-PTSD, PTSD, and dissociation. Today, you can choose to schedule your call for freedom.